In the winter of 1965, an archaeological team was working near a reservoir in China's Hubei province. They were excavating a group of ancient tombs, a routine dig that they hoped would yield some historical artifacts. But what they found in one particular tomb would rewrite our understanding of ancient metallurgy and ignite a mystery that endures to this day. Inside a waterlogged, airtight, lacquered wooden box, nestled beside a skeleton, lay a sword. When the lead archaeologist drew it from its scabbard, the entire team gasped. The blade gleamed with a cold, otherworldly light, as if it had been forged only yesterday, not sealed in a tomb for over 2,000 years. There was not a single speck of rust. One of the archaeologists, testing its edge, lightly touched the blade. A line of blood instantly appeared on his finger. The sword was still terrifyingly sharp. This was the legendary sword of Goujian, a national treasure of China and an artifact that seems to defy the laws of science. How could a bronze sword survive for more than 2 millennia in a damp tomb without any corrosion? And how does it remain so sharp that it can still effortlessly slice through stacks of paper? This is the story of a sword that whispers tales of a fallen king, a legendary comeback, and a curse that may have followed it through the centuries. To understand the sword, we must first understand the man whose name is intricately carved into its blade, Goujian, the King of Yu. His story is one of the most dramatic tales of resilience and revenge in Chinese history. In the early 5th century BC, during the turbulent spring and autumn period, the states of Wu and Yu were locked in a bitter rivalry. After an initial victory, Goujian grew arrogant. His hubris led to a devastating defeat at the hands of King Fukai of Wu. Goujian's army was annihilated, and he was taken captive. His life as a king was over. He was now a slave, forced to perform the most humiliating tasks for his rival, Fukai, including tending to his horses. For 3 long years, Goujian endured this disgrace. He feigned complete submission, never once letting his captor see the burning hatred in his heart. Legend says he even tasted Fukai's excrement to help diagnose an illness, an act of ultimate subservience that finally convinced Fukai to release him. But Goujian's spirit was not broken. It was forged into something harder than steel. Upon returning to his devastated kingdom of Yu, he embarked on a path of single-minded vengeance. To never forget his humiliation, he slept on a bed of brushwood by and hung a bitter gallbladder above it, tasting it every single day to remind himself of the bitterness of his defeat. This is the origin of the famous Chinese idiom, W Shan Chang Dan, which means to sleep on sticks and taste bile, a phrase that now symbolizes enduring hardship to achieve a future goal. Goujian lived an ascetic life, sharing the hardships of his people, working in the fields alongside them, and slowly rebuilding his state's economy and military strength. For 2 decades, he meticulously planned his revenge, all while maintaining a facade of loyalty to the state of Wu. It was during this period of intense preparation and simmering rage that this very sword was likely forged. The inscription on the blade, written in an ancient and beautiful script known as birdworm seal script, reads, "King of Yu," and made this sword for his personal use. This was not just a weapon. It was a symbol of his royal authority, his unbreakable will, and his sworn oath of vengeance. Imagine King Goujian holding this sword, its cold weight a constant reminder of his purpose. Every day, the bitterness of the bile and the gleam of this blade would fuel his determination. This sword was a silent witness to his obsession. Finally, after 20 years of patient waiting, the moment arrived. The state of Wu, weakened by its own arrogance and costly military campaigns, was vulnerable. Goujian launched his attack. His hardened, disciplined army, motivated by years of pent-up national shame, crushed the forces of Wu. King Fukai, now facing the same humiliation he had inflicted on Goujian, took his own life. Goujian had achieved his revenge. He became one of the last great hegemons of the spring and autumn period. The sword, which had been his constant companion through years of shame and striving, became a symbol of his ultimate triumph. It represented the idea that no matter how far you fall, with unwavering determination, you can rise again. When the sword was unearthed in 1965, its perfect condition baffled everyone. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, is highly susceptible to corrosion, especially in a damp environment like a waterlogged tomb. Yet, the sword of Goujian showed no signs of patina or rust. Its surface was as pristine as the day it was made. Scientists from around the world have studied it, trying to unlock its secrets. Early analysis revealed that the body of the sword is made of a bronze with a higher copper content, making it more flexible and less likely to shatter. The cutting edges, however, have a higher tin content, making them significantly harder and able to hold a razor-sharp edge. This is an incredibly advanced form of composite metalworking, demonstrating a level of metallurgical skill far beyond what was thought possible for that era. But the real mystery is its corrosion resistance. How did it stay so clean? One leading theory points to a process called chromium plating. Analysis in the 1970s seemed to detect a thin layer of chromium sulfide on the sword's surface. This was sensational news. Chromium plating is a modern technology, first patented in the 20th century. If ancient Chinese artisans had mastered it 2,500 years ago, it would be a revolutionary discovery. However, later, more rigorous studies have cast doubt on this theory. Some scientists now believe the chromium detected was a result of contamination from conservation materials, or that the chromium was naturally present in the local lacquer used for the scabbard. Another theory suggests the secret lies in the tomb itself. The sword was found inside a nearly airtight, lacquered wooden scabbard, which was then placed inside a larger, sealed casket. The tomb was flooded with underground water shortly after burial, which created a stable, oxygen-poor environment. This lack of oxygen would have dramatically slowed down the oxidation process that causes rust. The tight fit of the scabbard, combined with the unique waterlogged conditions, may have created a perfect time capsule, preserving the sword in its original state. While this explains the general preservation, it doesn't fully account for the complete absence of any decay, a feat few other bronze artifacts from similar conditions can claim. The perfect preservation of the sword of Goujian remains an unsolved scientific puzzle. Beyond the science, there are the legends. A blade so perfect, born from such an intense story of revenge, is bound to attract tales of the supernatural. Some whisper that the sword is cursed. It is said to carry the obsessive spirit of King Goujian himself, his unyielding will and his thirst for retribution. The legend claims that anyone who possesses the sword will be filled with a similar burning ambition, but that this ambition will ultimately lead to their own downfall, just as Goujian's kingdom eventually fell after his death. The tale of the archaeologist who cut his finger upon its discovery is often cited as the first modern encounter with the sword's thirst, while likely just a testament to its sharpness. The story adds to the blade's mystique. It is seen not just as an inanimate object, but as a relic with a will of its own, a silent observer that has outlasted empires and carries the weight of a king's soul. Today, the sword of Goujian is housed in the Hubei Provincial Museum, where it is considered a national treasure and rarely leaves the country. It stands as a powerful testament to the incredible craftsmanship of ancient China. But it's more than just a beautifully made artifact. It is a physical link to a human drama that feels as raw and relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. It's a story of failure, humiliation, perseverance, and the all-consuming nature of revenge. Looking at its flawless, gleaming surface, you can't help but feel a chill. You're looking at the embodiment of a king's obsession, a weapon that was meant to reclaim a kingdom and settle a blood debt. The sword of Goujian is a relic of war, a marvel of science, and a symbol of a comeback so legendary it has echoed through history. It silently asks us a question. What lengths would you go to in order to reclaim what you have lost? And what price would you be willing to pay? The secrets it holds may never be fully revealed. And perhaps that is its true power, to forever inspire awe, wonder, and a touch of fear.